let's get started with the UI development of the application. So for developing the UI, we need to open the activity main.xml file, and the default code under activity main.xml file looks like this, and the design is a white screen with a center text saying hello world. So we will edit this file and change to whatever UI we want. So what I've done is that I've already written the code for activity main.xml, and I'll just copy it over here, and then I'll explain what every statement under activity main.xml means, or whatever we have used, what is the significance of every line. Okay, so I've copied the code, I'll paste it, I'll reformat it so that it looks good. Yeah, now it looks good. And I'll keep the screenshot at one side and Android Studio on the other side so that I could explain it. Why is it this way? All right, so this is the activity main.xml file, and it is a complete coding for this screen. Now let's see how it works. So first of all, we have the scroll view as the view group. So why have we used the scroll view? We have used the scroll view because we see the UI of the UI of the application extends almost to 3/4 of the screen. So it can be possible with Android devices whose screen size is not big enough that not every content of the page is visible at the first time, or visible in the first page. Some contents may may lag behind. So in that case, we use a scroll view so that with just a scroll, the contents which lag behind could be on the screen. So that's why I use the scroll view. Next, we have this XML-NS, which means XML namespace. So the namespace which we are using are Android app and tools, and the oldest parent or the biggest parent of the activity main.xml file should define all of these. You can see that we have used this Android attribute, okay, app attribute and tools attribute. So the scroll view should always define all of these. Next, we have the layout width and layout height, which is match parent for scroll view. That means the scroll view should extend to the complete screen. And we have the context attached. This means that we have binded the scroll view with the main activity.kt file, which we will be writing in some time. Next we have the constraint layout as a child of the scroll view. So what is a constraint layout? Under constraint layout, every view that we place is constrained to one another. So in that manner, the UI designing is being done. So for constraint layout, the layout width is match parent. That means the constraint layout extends for the entire screen in the width, or I mean say horizontally, and vertically it expands only to the length of the content. That means if the content ends here, then the constraint layout is up to this portion only. Next, we are given the padding, that is 16 dp. 16 dp padding means the padding that is all around this screen. That is, you can see at the start we have this much of space, at the top we have this much of space. So these are the padding. Even on the left side, right side, you have padding which is visible from the calculate button and tip amount. So these are the padding that has been added on the constraint layout. Now it is DP. DP means density independent pixels. This is also a reason for making your application work properly on every screen. So Android devices comes with different pixels. So your application should respond correspondingly, means properly on every screen. So for that, we have used density independent pixels instead of some hard code values. So that's it. That's for it. Means it's for that reason. Similarly, there is SP for design for writing the font size, and that means the scalable pixel. What scalable pixel does is that when you change your Android system globally, Android settings globally, the font size, if you change the font size of the Android system globally, like you can keep it as too large to too small, so your application should also respond in that manner, that the size of the text under the application should also change. So scalable pixel scales it up and down depending upon the global settings of the app of the Android device in which you are running. So that's why you use SP for font size management, and DP for any measurement management like padding, margin. Okay, so that's it. Next, we have the image view as a child of the constraint layout. So image view is this is the image view that we are using, and right now it says that drawable IC store is as an error because we don't have the icon available under the drawable folder. So first of all, we will import all these three icons that we will be using. So how can we import these icons? Just go to resource manager, click on the plus button, click on vector asset, and then you are then you have this dialog box where you can search for the icons that you want. So the first one is the store icon. So I'll search for the store and I get it. I click on OK. I'll change the name to IC store. So IC store. Next, click on finish. Now you have the IC store.xml file under the drawable folder. So that's done. Similarly, these two. Vector asset will look for service. So room service has that same icon. So also we'll name it as service. Next, and it will be also added. Lastly, we have this roundup icon, which is actually a call made icon. So we'll select it and name it as IC round up. So that's also added now. Now we have those errors removed, but now the error is in the front portion which says app src compact. So it says to use vector drawable compact, you need to set android.default config.vector drawables.user use support library is equals to true. So what does that mean? Since I said this material design has been adapted by Android from Android 8.0, but while creating the project, we have mentioned that our application will be running from KitKat. So the applications which does not support material design, how will they draw these kind of UI? So in that case, you have to enable use support library so that for the Android devices running on KitKat to Nougat can draw these. So we'll just copy this and add it under the build.gradle file. So where is that build.gradle file? And we will have to actually edit the module one, not the project one, but the module one. And under the default config, what you can do is that we can paste this line over here. So this line use support library is equals to true. Now what it does is that it enables the support library accessibility for screens or for Android devices which are not supporting material design. Let's click the sync now button and it will get synced. Now if we check, the error has been gone. So this is all about image view. Also for image view, we have added the constraint. The bottom is constrained to the bottom of cost of service. Now what is cost of service? Cost of service is the text field. So that means the bottom of the image view is in alignment with the bottom of the text field. Start is aligned with the or constrained with the start of parent. So parent start is this one and image view start is this. So both of them are aligned in this way. Top is aligned again to the cost of service. That means the image view vertically is aligned with the cost of service text field. Okay. Next, we draw the text field. To draw the text field, we have to call this com.google.android.material.textfield. And similarly, first of all, we write the ID. Layout width is given as 160 dp. That means this entire length is 160 dp. If we have kept it as wrap content, then whatever input the user gives, the content, this text field will expand up to that portion only. So if you enter 5, the text field would end up over here. If you enter 500, it would end up here. And if you keep it as 5 lakhs, then somewhere here. But that's not a good practice. So we have used 160 dp as the width of the text field. Height is wrap content, means whatever we can't expand it to the entire screen. So what we did is that we kept it wrap content. So whatever could be the height of the content that's the input will wrap the and text field. Okay, next we have given margin start, so we have a 16 dp margin at the start to keep a distance between the image view and this cost of service text field. So that's the margin start. Next we have the hint is this cost of service which is appearing at the top. So cost of service is that hint that we are using, and we have defined it under the cost of service strings.xml file. So if you check the strings.xml file, we have all these names defined, but for now I'll just remove it and write it again for you. So when you'll open the strings.xml file for the first time, you'll see only this, and now we'll replace this everything with cost of service hint, means whatever string that we'll be using, we'll replace it with the string.xml file 1. So what was here? It was cost of service, and just click on this bulb icon, extracting string resource, and what it does is that it extracts this resource and keeps it under strings.xml file. So if you now check the strings.xml file, the cost of service is defined here. Okay, so that's done. Now what's the constraint for text field? Constraint is that the start of the text field is constrained to the end of icon cost of service. So the end of icon costs of service is in constraint with the start of text field, that's visible over here too. So that's the constraint for text input. Next, top is to the constraint of the parent. Okay, that's also pretty much understandable. Next, we have as the child of text input layout the text input edit text. So we'll define the text input edit text and its ID as the first attribute. So the name is cost of service edit text. Layout width as match parent. So it extends up to the match parent. So parent of the text input field is text input layout. Therefore, the text input edit text expands up to this portion completely in the width. Height is wrap content, and it extends as the height of the input that's given. Input type is number decimal, yeah, because the input can be alphabet even, but for the input of cost of service, alphabets would not be right input. So we have changed the input type or the keyboard type to number decimal. That means the numpad will be visible instead of the normal keyboard. So that's about text input edit text. Next, we have this closing tag for text input layout. Now the entire thing about edit text or text field has been completed, and we'll move to the image view. This image view is for this the service icon, and you can see that we have first of all added the ID, that's icon service question. Layout width is wrap content, height is also wrap content, but the constraints are same like the way we had for the store icon. The top is aligned with the top of the service statement, and bottom is aligned with the bottom of the service statement. So you can see top is to the top of service question. Now what is service question? That text view. So top is aligned to top and bottom is aligned to the bottom of that service question, and start is aligned with the parent. So everything is pretty much visible. And the compat source of the drawable file is that IC service that we have added in the resource manager right now. So that's all about image view. Next we have the text view. Text view is this text, how was the service, and ID. First of all, we define the ID. Next we add the style. So we'll first of all define the style in that styles.xml, then we'll see what it is. So for now, let's ignore this statement and move forward. We have added the layout width as wrap content. So the this container which holds this text is up to only this width and not exceeding more. Height is also wrap content. That means the container has the height same as that of the height of the text. Next, strings text is not visible. So what we can do is first of all we'll remove it and add the text, that is how was the service. And then you can press the this yellow bulb, or you can press Alt plus enter. Then you can extract the string resource under the name how was the service and click on OK. Now it's extracted under the strings.xml file. So how was the service is also included now, and we should move forward. We have the constraint is to the start of cost of service. Now cost of service was this text field, so it says that the start is in alignment with the cost of service, so all of them should line up in one line, and that what it means. So it starts with the start of cost of service, and the top of this edit cost of the text view isn't constrained with the bottom of the cost of service. So that's also pretty much visible that the bottom of this text field isn't constrained with the top of this text view. Next, what we use is a radio group. Now, what is a radio group? Is these three buttons that we are using. So these three buttons are the radio buttons, and every radio button is a child to a radio group. So first of all, we'll define the radio group, and we give it the ID, that's tip options. Next, we define the wrap content, and next we define the layout width and height, which are wrap content. Because the radio group extends only up to the portion in which these radio buttons are available. Checked button, that means what will be the by default check button. So the by default check button is option 20% ID. So this is the option 20% ID. So this one is checked, and that's what we see here too, that the amazing 20% is checked by default. You can change it on your own. Orientation is vertical. These radio buttons could also be placed in a row. So but in this view or in this UI, we have kept it vertical. So that's what the orientation means. And constraint start to start off, again the same thing, that it will be aligned to the start of this service question, or this edit text. And top to bottom of this and radio group should be aligned to the bottom of service question. So that's what the constraint is all about. Now every other radio button has its own ID, the layout, and the width and height, which is wrap content, and the text. The text says amazing 20%. So we will write the text, that's amazing 20%. So amazing 20%, and we'll extract the string resource. So what it will be named? It will be named as amazing 20. That's cool. So for the first one, it's added. Similarly, we'll add it for the next two. And what's the next one is good 18%. So we'll extract the string resource good 18. That's also done. Next we have OK 15. So depending upon the service which you think you have been provided, you can select the radio button and the percentage of tip that you'd like to give. So OK 15 is also now extracted to the strings.xml file. We are done with the radio group. Now let's move forward with another image view, that's this one. So this image view has its own ID, icon roundup, and constraints. You layout width and height are just like the above ones. Wrap content. Import for accessibility is no. That means that it's not accessible for importing the files. We'll talk about this on some other day. And let's move forward. Constraint bottom. So bottom is to the bottom of switch. So there's this switch. So what had it done is that to align this text, text or this icon all in the same line, we have constrained the bottom and top of each of them to each other. You see that the bottom of image view is in constraint with the roundup switch. So what is the roundup switch? This is the roundup switch. So and that's how they are in the same vertical line. Also the top is constrained to the top of roundup switch. Okay, that's also pretty much visible. And start is aligned with the start of the parent. So that's also done. Next we add the source from where this icon is drawn. So that's IC roundup that we added. So that was all about image view. Now let's move forward and draw the switch. So this switch is derived from the com.google or the material design of the switch material. So we use that same thing here, and ID has been given as roundup switch. layout width is 0 dp, that means it extends as the match parent. So you see that this the switch extends for the entire screen now. So and the layout width 0 dp is match parent. Height is wrap content, so the height of the switch is only up to the height of this entire view or the UI. Checked is equals to true, that means whether the switch should be on or off. So we have kept the default value as 2, so by default it's true. And text says round up tip, so we'll add the text first of all, round up tip, and then we will extract it. So that's now extracted. So that's about the text. Next, what's the constraint? The constraint is that end is constrained with the end of parent. So the parent is the entire screen. So end is in constraint with the parent. So that's also done. Next is the start is constrained with the tip options, so that all of them are aligned in one line. So start is in constraint with tip options. And top is in constraint with the bottom of tip options. That's also pretty much okay. The top of roundup tip is in constraint with the bottom of tip options. So this is done. Next we have the button. Button has its own ID, that's calculate button. Layout width is 0 dp, that means it's also extending to the entire screen, that match parent. Height is up to the wrap to the content that it wraps. Next we have the margin. Top margin, we have given the top margin at 8 dp, so 8 dp of margin exists over here for the entire this entire space. Next we have to add this text called calculate. It is in caps, so calculate, and then we can extract it. So we have extracted the file again. Constraint end is to the end of parent, just like the switch. End is to the constraint of the parent. Next we have start. Start is in constraint with the roundup switch. So start to start off, and top to bottom off. So top of the calculate is to the bottom of switch options. That also visible. That is also visible. So that's about the button. Next, at the end, we have the text view. And what's the text view? This text view is the tip amount that we have to show in the end. So ID is tip result. Style will see how to add the style. Layout width and height are wrap content. So it exists only for the amount of the means the length of this text. We have given the top margin is as 8 dp, so there is a margin existing as 8 dp over here. Constraint is end is to the end of parent, so end is to the end of parent. Top to bottom of, okay, constraint top. So top is to the bottom of the calculate button. Yeah, top of this text is in constraint with the bottom of this calculate button, and the text says tip amount $10. So this is the tip amount that we use. So this is it about the designing of the UI. So now let's move forward and develop the style file. So what is the style? So if you want some of the UI element or the view to have a certain property which is globally available, or that property is global, like you have this text view over here, you want it in the same manner as on different screen too. So what we can do is that we can define it under the styles.xml file, and the style will be copied from that page itself. So let's define the styles.xml. So where we can define the styles.xml file under the values folder. So we'll create a new file under the values, okay, and we'll name it as styles.xml. Again, for the styles.xml, I have already written the code. I'll just copy and paste, and I'll explain what that code means. Don't worry, I'll be sharing the entire project which I have defined, and you can check it later on the entire code, how it works. So this is the styles.xml file that we are using. So what are the styles? First, we have defined the style for a text view, that the text view should be at least 48 dp in the minimum height. Gravity should be center vertical, so that it must be placed to the vertical of the container, centrally placed in the vertical of the container that's holding it. And text appearance is body 1. What is body 1? We have number of text appearance like h1 to h6, like heading 1 to heading 6. Then we have body 1, body 2. These are just changes in the font size. H1 has the biggest font size, body 1 has a comparatively smaller font size. So the text view which we will be using should be a body 1 text. So that's the style for a text view, and we've given the name as widget.tip.textView, and the parent is widget.materialComponents.textView. So that's about text view. Next, we have the style for button, radio button. The radio button name has been given as widget.tiptime.compound button. Parent is widget.materialComponents.compound button. Don't worry, while means if you develop a number of applications, you will remember all these. So if you can't remember it right now, that's not a big problem. You'll remember it soon. Next, we add the padding at the start as a property of the radio button. So every radio button has a start padding of 8 dp. That's also visible here. And that this radio button has an 8 dp of starting padding. So radio buttons were aligned with this cost of service statement. How is the service statement? And after that, they have this 8 dp margin padding at the start. So that's what it's mentioned. Next, the text appearance would be body 1. So it's also pretty much clear why it is body 1. And then we have the style defined for switch. So switch should also have a minimum height of 48 dp, gravity as central to vertical, and text appearance as text appearance body 1. So this is the styles.xml file that we have defined, and that's it. Next we'll add some next we'll check whether these errors are gone or not. Yeah, these errors are now gone, which said styles not available. So we have the styles mentioned for text view here again for text view, and we have defined the styles for switch and text field as well. Switch and radio button as well. So we will add them too, but this will be added under themes.xml file. So under themes.xml file, we'll add the item, and the name of the item will be Android Android dot, that would not be ID. It will be what can it be? So first of all, we'll add the radio button style. So we'll keep it the name as radio button style. Yeah, that's okay. Now it's visible as a suggestion, and it will be defined as under the style / widget.tiptime.compound button. So this we have defined where the style for radio button is mentioned. Next, we have to add the switch as an item. So the name is switch style, and the switch style is also defined under the style / widget.tiptime.compound.switch. So that's done. Also, if you check the activity main.xml file and see if the design is working good or not. So everything is good other than the fact that the text field that we use here is a filled one. You see, it's a gray color filled text field, but the UI that we have does not have that thing. It has outlined text field. So we have to change this property too. So we'll change that theme property under themes.xml file too. So add it as item, name, text, input style, and the text input style will copy its style from, again, that styles.xml file only, but this one will be from material components. So widget.materialComponent. Yeah, this is the outline box that we will be needing. So this is the style that we should be developing for this text field. Now if we check, then this is outlined. So we see that we have gained, or we have achieved what we wanted, and the UI portion is ready. If you have any doubts, you can question in the comments below, or if you are in the Discord channel, you can even post there in our Discord channel under the app channel. Discord. So if you are on the Discord server, ask questions on the app dev channel. Okay. So we are done with themes, but yeah, this is the theme defined only for the day, or the light mode, bright mode, whatever you call. So next we have to add the same under the themes.html file for the night mode. So you just copy paste. So themes are defined for the night mode too. We are done with the designing as well as theming and also the styling of the application. Now let's move forward and write the Kotlin code for the application, and this is the last thing that we need to do. So we also need to add the app icon, so we'll be adding it too. So let's get started.